Is it possible that more people want speed cameras than don't want speed cameras? And what happens when a police officer in a marked police vehicle gets caught by a speed camera? We're going to get into that today. I got Ross McLean here with me, former police officer, bodyguard to billionaires and security specialist. Ross, how you doing today, bud?
I'm doing pretty well, Randy. And for a period of time, I actually ran one of those little speed camera radar jobbies. I was a radar guy, so I got some thoughts on this one.
Okay, listen, this is kind of all the rage now. We know all the cameras are getting cut down. There's a coordinated effort to cut down the cameras. But let me just read something really quick, okay? This is from a police officer's Instagram account, a public poll, police officer Instagram account. What's your opinion on photo radar enforcement, automated speed cameras? That's real technical. Do you want more locations, fewer locations? 210 people said they want more locations, and 126 people said fewer locations. This is on a police officers. More people wanted speed radar. And this is another one. This is about a month or so after the fact. Should photo radar be added to 401, so major highways, to slow down speeders? Yes, it will save lives. 182 people responded yes. No, it's just a cash grab. 119 people said no, it's just a cash grab. Far more people want the speed cameras than don't want them. We're going to get right into this. And I got a few interesting stories to tell. Well, I hope people find it interesting. But listen, what's your thoughts right off the bat?
For me, I'm not so much on the automation, Randy. I'm more on the context and the people part.
I've driven across the country numerous times, East Coast and Vancouver. I mean, numerous times. 100 kilometers an hour within the province of Ontario, there was cops everywhere doing enforcement. As soon as I would leave Ontario, I barely saw any cops. I went all the way to Vancouver from Ontario and I never saw one cop. But here's the thing, when you get outside Ontario, it was always 110 kilometers an hour. So 100 kilometers an hour, lots of cops doing enforcement. 110, I didn't see any. And then when I got to Vancouver, or I was driving into Vancouver on Coquihalla Highway, it was 120 kilometers an hour. I didn't even know they had 120-kilometer highways in Canada. It was 120 kilometers and no cops at all. But here's the thing. Nobody was really kind of speeding all that much. You know, there's an argument that people say, well, the more you raise it, the more people are going to speed. Listen, I think there's a limit where even people say, I don't think I need to go that fast, for God's sakes. I mean, 110, okay, yeah, it should be 110 outside city limits. If you drive a bit faster, 120, I don't know how much faster you want to go, than 120. Anyways, what's your thoughts, bud?
One of the things, like you said, if you're doing 125 and it's 120, nobody cares. You're okay. Everybody's fine. But the trick comes when they start putting these cameras where it's 100 and then there's a little zone where it drops down to like a 50 or something like that. And then bing, you get banged not because you're speeding necessarily, because it's the location in the context of it. So for me, the advantage of being a radar cop, rather than just bing, bing, bing hitting people, Randy, is I got to stop them and put it in context. Are you doing 15 over when there's no one else in the highway? Are you doing 25 over and cutting in out of traffic as I'm nailing you? Those are two different tickets, two different speeds. For me, it's the context of the speeding as well, not just the fact it's a number.
Yeah, it is a contact. Listen, and I think those days are long gone anyways. Cops being at the bottom of hills trying to get somebody for doing 10 kilometers or miles over the limit. Of course, you're probably going to be rolling a little bit quicker. But now, the police services, they get called out for that stuff. People take photos and it looks bad, right? It's bad publicity. However, I mean, there are limits when it comes to speeding. 20 kilometers over the limit in a school zone during the day, that's a lot different. So it's not like there's a set number that people can go over the
Completely.
limit. Ross, another reason for this video, I want to talk about police officers getting caught through speed cameras and red lights. Police officers do get caught and they actually have to answer and they could lose hours. It's the equivalent of getting charged for the red light cameras as well. If a cop is going through a red light and they don't have their emergency equipment activated and they're not on their way to a call, then they lose hours. Days off basically is how it works. And this is how it works. Listen, people are going to tell me I'm lying, that cops get away with it. No, they actually don't. If a cop is speeding and they're caught on a speed camera, they have to answer to that. Were they on their way to a call? If they were on their way to a call and they don't have the emergency equipment activated, then they can get in trouble for that too. So cops absolutely do get in trouble for speeding by speed cameras. I made a joke online the other day that maybe it was actually the cops that set up this coordinated effort to take down all the speed cameras because they were tired of getting caught. But anyways, yeah, so cops actually have to pay for these fines and they get caught all the time.
Yeah, they do. They get caught, especially when it's on camera.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
as you point out, once again, in context, what
In
was the police
context.
officer doing? Where were they going? What was the condition with the lights? What were the roads? What are the things? I mean, I don't think cops are any more perfect than citizens are perfect. You got to catch a break. And sometimes, giving somebody a break goes a long way. Randy, when I want to know one of the best pieces of advice I ever got as a cop, you're going to love this. First day on the job, I ran into a guy who was just retiring, and he's going to give me a couple of rules about what's going to make my life better as a cop. And one of them was this. He said, if you get someone, you either give them the lecture or you give them the ticket. You don't give them the lecture and the ticket. That's when people get complaining. They don't like it, but nobody minds getting the lecture. Hey, blah, 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 if they don't get the ticket. But if you're going to give them the ticket, don't give them the lecture. And that's a good lesson for every cop watching this, I think.
Ross, listen, I really appreciate the input. I appreciate you having, coming on once again. You're on on YouTube as well. Sorry, McLean Chronicles. You cover all kinds of topics regarding policing. And where can people find you? Is it just McLean Chronicles on YouTube?
McLean Chronicles on YouTube. Come on over, give me a follow, give a watch. Let me know what you want to know about. I do analysis on police and tactics and close protection. And sometimes, once or twice, I got to talk some politics, but
Yeah, of
it'll be
course,
great.
of course. Ross, thanks for joining me today, bud. Be safe.
Cheers.